Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, October 3rd, and we are live at 5 here at Broadway.com. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And over there is Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And distracting me behind the camera is today's guest.
Yes.
Lea DeLaria is here.
I love Lea DeLaria.
Who we adore. And, of course, she's in a big off-Broadway hit, Collective Rage. It's the final week to see it, actually.
Right. A play in 5 Betties.
Oh, and Beth, also, we have to point out, it is
Mean Girls Day.
Mean Girls Day.
You can tell by our pink attire.
So what are we supposed to do? Oh, we're supposed to be...
We're supposed to be wearing pink today.
Oops.
Oops. It's okay.
But we have some pink neon happening. Anyway, we're going to talk to Lea, but first, today's top 5.
An exciting new musical is coming to Broadway, but not until next year.
We're talking about Tina Turner, the Tina Turner musical.
The Tina Turner musical.
Thank you.
Not to be confused with Summer, the Donna Summer musical.
They're very
or
different.
Ain't Too Proud. Anyway, there's a lot of
There's a lot of stuff out
a
there.
lot of stuff.
We had a feeling this would come to Broadway
Yes.
because it stars Tony nominee Adrienne Warren, who of course was nominated for Shuffle Along, and
She's an American, but it's in
she's
London. It's
American.
a big hit in London, but
She
they haven't
plays-
announced her, have they?
no,
Right.
but in London.
She's going to come to it, but not officially. She's working out her contract.
Thank you, Paul. Are you working on
Give
it?
her everything she wants. Give her everything she wants. We
Whatever
love her.
Adrienne wants. But this is very exciting. It's directed by Tony nominee Phillida Lloyd, who did Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
It's written by Katori Hall, who wrote The Mountaintop, which was
Yep.
on Broadway a few years ago. It's exciting. We don't have dates. We just know fall 2019 on Broadway.
Cool.
On Broadway. And London's National Theatre has announced its season, and it looks real good.
Well, remember James McArdle? He was
Yes.
fantastic in Angels in America. What role did he play in that?
What role did he play in that?
Who's quizzing who? What's the name of that role?
Don't
You
know.
know his
The
name.
boyfriend.
I don't remember.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. The National Theater is very, of
It's been a
course,
long day.
fancy. What?
It's been a long day.
Lewis.
Lewis, that's it.
Thank you.
Sorry. The National Theater announced their season at the Olivier, the Littleton, and the Dorfman theaters, and they're doing Peer Gynt, or it can also be called, you said Peer
Gynt, if you're going to be one of
Beth
those people.
is more the classical theater person. And James McArdle will be in it, not playing Lewis, but is he playing Peer Gynt?
He's not going to be playing.
It's David Hare's adaptation of the
Yes.
classic. And also the European premiere of Annie Baker's The
Why are you looking at me? Yes, The Antipodes.
Okay.
Annie Baker,
Okay.
which premiered
Directed
off Broadway.
by Lila Neugebauer, who's currently doing the
Waverly
Waverly Gallery
Gallery
on
on
Broadway.
Broadway.
And that'll be her National Theater debut. So anyway, they announced the whole season. Check it out.
And these two Broadway pals are going to get witchy.
Okay, so remember just a couple of days ago when J. Armstrong Johnson
Yeah,
was
why
here?
couldn't you just tell us?
Yeah,
Come on,
maybe.
Jay.
I guess the contracts weren't done, Paul. He has announced more guests joining him for his Hocus Pocus bash at Le Poisson Rouge. It's
They were
called.
negotiating for lift service
I
to
put
the
a spell on you.
Le Poisson Rouge. I'm sorry.
They're exactly cab fare. This is the return of the Sanderson sisters, and we are talking about Krista Rodriguez and Andy Mientes. You know them from Spring Awakening. You know them from Smash. Very important credit. I'm just
This is the
saying.
big Hocus. Is today
This
a
is the
Hocus
big Hocus-
Pocus anniversary too? There's a lot of Hocus Pocus stuff.
Lea
happening.
DeLaria
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
everything.
Lea DeLaria said
25 years.
This will happen on.
Jessica Parker posted about it.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, we love
That's
Yeah.
how we all know. We're all following SJP. October 28th, 7 o'clock and 9:45. As Jay mentioned, when he mentioned the people that were going to be in it, Major Attaway, Julia Madison, and more. Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Awesome.
And our new Broadway.com vlogger is very bubbly.
So speaking of anniversaries, of course, the Wicked anniversary is coming up on
This month.
The 15th anniversary on October 30th.
That's Wicked Day. Today's Mean Girls Day. That's Wicked Day.
You know, before Wicked, the most spectacular thing that had ever appeared at the Gershwin Theater was Lea DeLaria in On the Town. Am I correct?
So good.
True.
Am I correct? Isn't that where that happened?
Yeah, that is what
Where she
happened.
molested
She molested him.
Jesse Tyler
was
Ferguson
not a
every
molest.
night.
No.
She cooked for him. It's different.
She cooked. They were cooking.
She drove her cab.
Anyway, Amanda Jane Cooper, who of course plays Galinda, a.k.a. Glinda, in the hit musical, will be our new vlogger. So she will take her cameras backstage at Wicked, and her vlog is called A Little Sparkle, Backstage at Wicked with Amanda Jane Cooper. And it will start on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. And of course, that will take us through not only the Wicked anniversary, Halloween, 8 weeks of backstage at the Wicked.
Awesome.
We love it. And this new Gotta Dance photo shoot is up, and we are obsessed with it.
because it's Mean Girls Day. He's going to keep saying it now,
It's
Paul.
full circle.
Wonderful Broadway.com contributing photographer Matthew Murphy took pictures of the ensemble, a huge ensemble of dancers and performers of the Mean Girls cast, and it's like a revenge party, I would call it. They look like Marie Antoinette, who was, as Caitlin calls her, the OG Mean Girl.
Oh, is that the connection here?
I'm going to say yes.
We're going to make it.
Okay,
I'm going to say yes. Wonderful pictures. Check them out.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
All
I'm
right.
out of here.
Okay, there's a
I'm
Betty
going to
here.
go look up the cast of Angels in America.
Move out there.
Okay, bye.
Hey, Caitlin, tell us more about today's guest.
Yes, guys, today we have Lea DeLaria in the studio with us today. She is currently in Collective Rage, a play in 5 Betties off Broadway. You may also know her from the hit Netflix series Orange is the New Black, but like Paul said, she was on Broadway and On the Town and the Rocky Horror Show. She also has been off Broadway at Out of Iceland, Little Fish, The Vagina Monologues, a whole bunch of stuff. She's super talented, and her other screen credits include Cars 3, Clarence, One Life to Live, The Oblongs. She's got a lot going on. We could be here all day listing her credits because she's amazing. Be sure to follow her on social media at Real Lea DeLaria, all one word, and leave all of your questions for her in the comments down below. Please welcome Lea and Paul.
Lea DeLaria.
Hi, Paul.
Oh, we were just here to talk about One Life to Live, right? That's
Yeah,
what we're talking
oh my
about.
God.
The most important credit.
They're my favorite fans because
Yes.
it's beyond me. I would be like on the subway at 2:00 in the morning, loaded, going home after partying, looking like I look. And then somebody will go, "Oh, I loved you in One Life to Live." How did you know it was me? I mean, that woman had that wig on. I had makeup like that. It's hilarious to me.
I love your glasses.
Thanks.
They're fantastic.
They're vintage.
Oh, of course. You always look good. You always look good. You're very stylish. And you're in a big off-Broadway hit. People loved it. People have a lot of collective rage, don't they?
They do
This is a
indeed,
good timing.
especially this week.
Yeah, especially
There's a
this
lot of women with a
week.
lot of rage right
You're
now.
building up to a great final week.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
Collective
yeah.
Rage, a play in 5 Betties. You are one of 5 Betties.
I'm Betty Ford.
Uh-huh. And we
Not,
had...
not to be confused with Betty Ford.
Right.
I'm
I
Betty
know. I
Ford.
thought you said Betty Ford. I was like, that's not, I didn't realize that was supposed to be her. We had one of your co-stars here. Anna Villafañe was here.
Yes.
Who's very
Say that 3
very-
times fast.
Very glamorous. You
Anna
play-
Villafañe. Anna Villafañe. Anna Villafañe. There.
Yeah, yeah.
You did it.
And you play. Talk about Betty Ford.
Betty Ford is kind of like the Jacquees of this play. She's the melancholy philosopher.
Okay.
We would say, and it's really they're really asking me to act in this thing because she's a big old butch dyke. So it's a lot of acting for me. And it
breaking out.
actually is a lot of acting for me because I don't normally play this kind of character. I usually play the real, smart ass, in your face, dry, and this one is just a little sad sack. And so I actually am doing a bit of acting in
No, I
this
know
one,
you
and
were.
I'm having a ball. Actually, this is a dream cast. We have our Betty Circle that happens at 5 minutes. But whenever we get the 5-minute call, all 5 of us get together and we hold hands, and it's so like theatery, you know what I mean? That I just make fun of it. I just stand there and make fun of it. And Anna's like our dance captain, and she gets us to breathe. And then we...
She's very Broadway.
Oh, she's incredibly... She starts... Okay, now everybody take a deep breath and let out the bat. And I'm like, can we get on the fucking stage already? It's like, but we love each other, and we love ribbing each other, and it's been a real joy to share a dressing room with Dana Delaney, who likes to walk around in a thong.
I always love hearing about your female dressing room mates, because when you were in the Rocky Horror Show, wasn't it Alice Ripley? Alice Ripley. And
walking around in her broad
and
panties
you just
all the
talked
time.
about her in her underwear. I remember this from back then. So is it contractually, do you get to pick which your co-stars you get to share a room with?
I'm going to start making that in my contract. Now that I can actually ask for things, I'm like, I need an 8-ball and a couple of hookers in my dressing room, please.
Lea DeLaria, you never disappoint. You're always on brand. Always on brand. So are you always looking for theater projects? I mean, you're always sort of like ready to jump into something like this.
Yeah. I miss being on the boards, and being in television is, believe me, I love the money. We all love the money.
Yeah, we like watching you up there too.
I gotta say, there's nothing like being downstage center, hitting, belting a D sharp. And that is just like heaven to me. So I'm waiting, I'm looking. We're gonna knock wood on this, but I think we'll see me back on the board singing soon.
Oh, what? You can't say things like that to me. What?
I can, and I did.
In a classic musical, maybe?
I'm not gonna saying anything more.
Now we're just gonna start thinking.
We're gonna dreamcast you in some roles.
Dreamcast me in some roles, and when I can say it, I will. We'll be the first to know.
Okay. I have something
But
in my head
I do
already.
love being back on the boards.
Yeah.
I love that applause, and I love the audience, and the immediate. I also love that when you screw up, you just go back the next day and you get it right. You know what I mean? There's just something about theater and theater acting.
What's different about you now versus that talented lady I saw on The Town? That was what, 20 years ago, or more or less?
It was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that's different.
Just 20 years.
I was
You look
40
the same to
then,
me.
and now I'm 60.
You look the same to
it's
me.
like, well, thank you.
You're not 60.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
I very famously turned 60 in May. Yes.
Oh. I chose to ignore that information.
Because then you have to examine how old you are. Isn't that right, Paul?
I'm 46.
There you go.
Yes, yeah. So I'm you doing Rocky Horror or something. I don't know. That's shocking. You look incredible.
Well,
you
I can
still
tell
seem
you.
spry.
Yeah, it's good genes because it's certainly not from taking care of myself. I can tell you that right now.
So you're still hitting the town.
Oh yeah. I was out with Samira Wiley having fun last night. She came to see the show, and we went. We were around the West Village, just being Leah and Samira.
So you're not one of those actresses who's like, I don't talk all day, and I'm just in my.
If I'm having trouble with my voice, I don't talk.
Right. But in general, you can kind of balance it all.
I think for me, because I started out as a stand-up comic and a very rageful stand-up comic, and I was always on stage and I was always screaming like the whole time I was on stage.
Yeah.
I think my vocal cords have become steel because of it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really I never have voice trouble. It's really unusual for me to have any vocal trouble. And if I start feeling it, I shut up. I shut up. I drink water. If it feels like I need more than that, I go. I call Dr. Barry. We all call Dr. Barry.
Yeah. Are you still New York based mostly?
Yeah. I live in Bushwick.
Yeah.
BK all the way, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Bushwick. Bushwick's cool.
Bushwick, the ghetto. I live in the ghetto.
I went there once because Pete Sanders, who's sitting here, got me out there to watch what's that theater?
Company Heads Lady.
Yes. The burlesque.
It's right around the corner.
But
from me.
it reminded me of New York City, Manhattan, when I fell in love with Manhattan.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It reminds me of like the Village back when I fell in love with it. It's
yeah,
really cool
that's one of the reasons I like being there because it's nice that wow, look, there's not white people here.
Yeah.
Exciting. So
Yeah, thank God.
yeah.
So you're doing concerts too.
Yeah, I'm touring.
Yeah. So wait, so you're finishing the show. This is the final week.
Oh yeah, final
at the
week.
hotel.
Gotta see this play, you guys.
Yeah, you
it's
have
so
to.
brilliant.
Yeah, you have to. It's really sort of the must-see event of off Broadway right now. I mean, for the next
Kind of
week.
all excited about it.
And then you're doing a bunch of concerts. You're gonna be Dart. Where can they get all these dates? Should we say
Yeah,
them?
go for
October
it.
12th at 8:00 at Dartmouth University in Hanover, New Hampshire, and then the 13th you'll be in Albany, New York at Mastery Center for the Arts. And then a week later, what are you doing between these gigs? Are you like going from gig to gig? Are you in a van? Are you driving around in an Airstream? What's happening? What's happening?
I'm like, what are you doing between
Hitting
these
the bars
gigs?
in each of
And
these
I'm
towns?
Probably going to bars.
Yeah, because then on the 20th, you'll be in Purchase at the Performing Arts Center at Purchase College. My voice cracked on that one.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be in one of my favorite places on November 8th, Palm Desert. You're going to the McCallum. I love Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Are you going to make that a trip? Is Jesse Tyler Ferguson going to drive up and meet you?
I'm telling you, my schedule is so crazy, and his is so crazy.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be with him for his birthday, and I can't because I'm doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll be in Palm Desert, and then the 9th you'll be in Chandler, Arizona. I don't know what that is. Chandler Center of the Arts.
Yeah.
I've never been there. Then you're in
Phoenix,
Vegas.
basically.
Vegas?
Yeah.
You in Vegas? That's trouble.
Yeah, but I don't get to stay because I have to go to London right away to do the London Jazz Festival. So I'm only going to be in Vegas. I'm going to be in
10th
Vegas
and the
for
11th at the Smith
2
Center.
days, basically.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you are fantastic in concert. I love. What are you singing these days?
Well, I'm doing the Bowie record because that was the last record I put out.
Yeah.
So I'm doing all the jazz covers of
Fantastic.
David Bowie tunes.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly well received. I'm
Yeah.
really pleased.
It's
and
really
thinking
great.
about what am I going to do? I gotta do another record.
Yeah,
It's been 2 years, so you got to...
You're going to do that cast album of that musical you're going to do.
Well, let's...
That'll happen.
I'm knocking on all the wood. Is this particle board or wood here?
But you're a jazz girl, though. I mean,
Yeah, I'm a jazzer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, in spirit and in...
Yeah, that was the best thing about On the Town was when I got to scat.
I know.
You know, for those... I mean, it was only 8 bars, but
Oh my God.
16 bars, but it was...
Very memorable.
But, you know, when you are a jazz musician, you don't like to sing the same notes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It gets really boring. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing about Broadway that's hard for me, is that I'm not allowed to play, basically. Right. So that was a treat to be able to blow over changes for a few bars.
Did you get to play in Rocky Horror? That was like a nutty cast.
Yeah, because
the cast kept changing.
Yeah, because Eddie was a heavy metal rocker, so I got to do all sorts of stuff with my Eddie. So that was fun. And of course, we weren't supposed to talk back to the audience, but we did. When
really
they would yell at us.
Oh my
only
God.
Frankenfurter and the narrator were supposed to do it, but Alice Ripley and I often took the note, if you know what I mean.
God, I would love to see a reunion of that cast.
Oh, that was a great cast.
20-year reunion's coming up.
Oh.
Yeah, let's
organize
something. Jordan Roth,
Roth,
get on it. Yeah,
get
Jordan
on
Roth,
it.
let's get on that reunion.
20-year reunion, Rocky cast would be awesome.
That needs to happen.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen, Jordan Roth. Commit that on social media somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So Broadway is still going to be a thing for you.
I love Broadway. I love going to Broadway
you
shows.
See a lot of shows. You're always in the audience.
I'm always in the audience.
Yep.
I go to all the shows.
Yep.
I dress nice when I go.
Yeah.
It's like my church, you know. So I love it. I love theater, and I love Broadway, and I love New York theater. And I think that since the corporification of Broadway, we have been seeing less and less daring things in New York theater, which is one of the reasons I love Collective Rage. Yeah. Because Jen Silverman is as smart as it gets, and it's queer AF, it's funny AF, and it is feminist AF. I mean, it is all of those things. And I think that given what's happening in society and in the world today, we as artists, as writers, as performers, need to stick our neck out more and more and more and get away from this let's just make people happy thing. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's room to make people happy, but there's a lot going on that needs to be addressed.
Do you remember how old you were when you first felt fired up about something? Like when you first sort of got that? Because I feel like you've always sort of had that rebel spirit.
Yeah, I think it's my whole life. I can't even remember when it started. Probably the first time a nun hit me in Catholic school. I went, oh, this is going to stop, you know.
Yeah, there's a whole article on BuzzFeed about nuns.
They're insane.
Oh my God, about the nuns killing people and.
Oh, honey.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. Yeah, I think you should say allegedly. I love when
they do that on The View. Whenever they say they on The View, they say allegedly. Or the nuns say they did not actually kill anyone. The legal statement. We don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, the nuns hit you.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
That's not happening.
Yeah. I love how people sue them now these days. Like parents and their kids will sue somebody at a Catholic school, and if I went home and said, "Mom, sister hit me," she'd whack me again. Oh, you probably deserved it, you know. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting the way the world has changed around that. But when I was a kid, the nuns were crazy.
What's your favorite musical? Do you have like one that you sort of go back to?
I go back and forth on what my favorite musical is. It's really hard, but most often it's Sunday in the Park with George. Most often
clearly
it's
that's
Sunday
the show
in the
you're
Park
going to do.
You're
going to play Dot in Sunday in the Park with George.
There's a million roles for me in Sunday in the Park with George. And
what's the other one?
But Sweeney Todd, I'm a huge, and then Gypsy. I just get in this, and the three of them do this rotation.
Yep, Mama Rose. That's a good role for Lea DeLaria.
Yeah, I got to sing that at the Hollywood Bowl, the End of Millennium concert at the Hollywood Bowl. Wow. I got to sing Rose's Turn with the Hollywood Bowl.
Is that on YouTube?
I don't know.
I'm going to go find out in like 5 minutes.
You might want to call over to the Hollywood Bowl and find out.
Check that out.
That was a great concert. It was me, Alan Cumming, and Ann Miller.
Wow.
Who was brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I love her.
We're online, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I can say this then. So Alan and I were so excited to meet Ann Miller. We just went in. We're in her dressing room, just queening it up. We were so queenie. And so she goes, "Oh, Alan, I really liked you in Eyes Wide Shut." Right? And Alan went, "Oh, you did? Thank you." And she goes, I I want to see the European version. I hear there's a lot more pussy in the European. And Ellen and I went, we have to go to our dressing rooms. It was like that Lisa Loeb video. We just slid down the wall outside in the hall, laughing our heads off. Because Ann Miller just looked right at us and said pussy. It was my favorite thing ever.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
I love that.
Hey, Caitlin, do we have any questions from the fans online?
Yes, we do. So this first question is, what are you going to miss the most about Collective Rage when it ends next week?
The pussy, definitely. Pussy. I'm gonna. And Dana Delaney in her thong. I'm really gonna miss that.
Dana Delaney in a thong.
I may just go over to her apartment and go, Dana, walk around in your thong for me, please.
Sure. People do that for you.
I'm gonna miss doing the show. It's we're become such a family, you know, and that if this happens with casts, and then you go to your next family. But every once in a while, you find a cast like the cast of Prometheus Bound that I did at ART. We are, you know, we are all like tight family. You know, we're still a tight family. I believe that's going to happen with Collective Rage. We just, you know, we're texting each other all the time. And
Is there a group chat? There's a Collective Rage
Oh
group?
yeah, constant.
That must be amazing to read.
It's fun. And Orange is the same way. We're very tight. But you know what I mean? And I was on One Life for a decade, and I can tell you, we didn't all go out and party and hang together.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, it was a job. But yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so the next question: what was your first Broadway show, or the first show that really like sparked
that you saw?
That I saw?
Yeah, that you saw.
Chicago, with Jerry Orbach.
Wow. Yes.
Came to St. Louis, where I grew up.
Oh, he did the tour?
He did the national tour, and that was the first big. Like I was, what was I? 16, I think, maybe something like that. And I mean, I've of course seen movie musicals and all of that, and was in love with it. Was in love with you know the genre, but that was my first, and that was it, man.
Did the Showgirls pop? The Fosse Showgirls?
Everything. It was so great.
Yeah.
Even though I was in like you know nosebleeds. I mean,
of course.
It's like all the way in the back, the $5 ticket. I just had to go.
When I think about all the shows I saw when I was a kid and how crappy my seats were, but it didn't matter, and now I'm so spoiled.
Yeah. Well, I remember when that musical came out. I remember crying because I knew I was too young to play Mama Morton, and I wanted to play that part so badly. And then I got the national tour. Yeah. And did it for like a year. Before between On the Town and the Park and on Broadway. So it's kind of cool.
Amazing, Busy Bee. Oh, okay. First, Joanne really loves your Dustin pin.
Thank you.
And wanted to know what are your favorite binge-worthy shows?
Binge-worthy? Oh, SVU.
Yes.
SVU, nonstop, SVU, and the original Law and Order. I love them. Yeah, nonstop. Watch them constantly. Of course, I binge this one like nuts. Stranger Things is just crazy fun. Yeah. And I love SVU. Mariska Hargitay. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
20 years too.
Oh, I know.
It's amazing. It's gone for 20 years.
It's crazy, right?
Okay, one more question. Abby says, do any of the Betties have pre-show rituals that you guys have to do before going on
stage? Besides that crazy circle.
Besides the crazy circle.
Oh, okay. Well, we all do. And Adina's is my favorite, okay? Adina Verson has a master's degree in musical theater from Yale. She is a Yalie.
Wow.
She has the most bizarre warming up ritual. The noises that come out of her I can't even imitate it. And she does this weird because her Betty is a little hysterical. Yeah. So she's constantly like before she goes out, her body is moving and everything's moving. I was so mad yesterday after what the Cheeto Tweeto did to my people yesterday. And I came to the theater. Yes. I was so mad. I was just filled. It was like, good thing I'm doing this play about rage because I am so full of rage today. And I was actually to a place where I was crying because I was so upset about the state of my country and what was going on and what he was doing to my people. And I got up and Dina started making her noises, and I started laughing. I was like, "Thank God for Dina! Aww. Thank God for Dina!" Because it sounds like someone is killing a frog. I don't. It's the craziest sound. And then I have to run every line in the show. So at 15 minutes, I go look in a mirror and I do every one of my lines.
Oh, wow.
In order, like a speed through. Doom. That's what I have to do.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Dana has to walk around in her thong. That's her.
That's part of your process.
That's definitely part. And we all have these little things that we do. You know?
I love it. You got to respect everyone's journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Everyone's process
because
is
it's
important.
working. Whatever's happening, it's all working on stage. Well, hey everyone, get down to the Lucille Hotel and see Lea DeLaria in the fantastic play, and then on these concerts all over the place.
Yeah.
And in London, you said, and everywhere they can follow you on social media, and it's very entertaining beyond informational about upcoming concerts. We adore you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I refuse to believe you're 60. Hey, Caitlin,
I'll show you
why don't
my
you take
license.
us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to this interview in a podcast form by searching for #live@5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we talk to Tom Surata and Adam Heller of the new off-Broadway comedy, Popcorn Falls.